But the idea of race, was some scientists coming up and saying, well, these people in that area have these general physical characteristics.
So you mentioned earlier, I love that scene in Revelation, every tribe, tongue, and nation all surrounding the throne, worshiping together. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. It's one of my favorite things in Revelation, talking about that. So the Bible certainly talks about differences between people. There's different cultures and ethnicities, but you mentioned something very interesting I don't know that a lot of people are aware of, that even the whole concept of race comes out of Darwinism. This isn't something that comes from the Bible. So what does the Bible teach about the separation? Does it teach the separation of races, or how does the Bible come about that question?
Okay, so I sort of deal with where I view where races came from. Like I said, the word race isn't, is a man-made concept. So I go back and I look at the genealogies, and I go back to a very important event, and that was the event where you had, well, all right, so first of all, in the genetic makeup of Adam and Eve was every single skin tone that we see today. You can't line up everyone and then point and say, okay, this is where black people begin. 8 people went into the ark. And what I find interesting is that I remember when I first started doing research, people would say, well, the 3 sons of Noah, one was Asian, one was black, and then one was white, for the European nation. And I started thinking about that. That didn't really make much sense to me because they had the same mother and father. But what I believe happened is that they were pretty much all the same. I mean, some people were lighter, some people were darker, but there was no such thing as race. And as God told them to fill the earth, told them to multiply, fill the earth, and they had the Babel thing, and then God had everybody go their own way. Now, as people started migrating to different parts of the earth, people who were better acclimated to certain parts of the earth became healthier and had more children. So if you were the sons of Jephthah and you went through Europe, and it's a delicate balance between vitamin D and the sun rays. So those who were able to get more sunlight in were able to have more children, and those who had more children that looked like them, over a period of time, the people with the lighter skin had, were healthier, had more children that had lighter skin, on and so on. Same thing with people who were darker, people who were going southern toward Africa, who had darker skin, protect them from skin cancer, protect them from the harmful rays, tended to be more healthy and had children that were darker as well. So people, matter of fact, you can look at a map of skin color and you can see it's generally geographical. Skin color is generally geographical. So I look at it as an example of microevolution, where God designs us to be able to adapt somewhat to our environment. And that's one of the things that man is able to do. And over the hundreds, thousands, or whatever years, man was able to adapt to his environment and his reflection of that environment. So, but the idea of race, was some scientists coming up and saying, well, these people in that area have these general physical characteristics, which is fine, but then they started to add toward it, also behavior characteristics that they now stereotyping people with certain behavior. But that all goes back to science. I mean, that's what science did. That's what. Do you know that the original title for Darwin's book was I just wrote on that, but it's actually the species
origin of the species
and the advancement of favorite races.
Oh wow!
So they never add that second part onto it.
Yeah.
And I verified. I actually looked it up in the Library of Congress. Yeah.
That was the original title.
That was the original title. It had that in the original title.
Oopsie.
Yeah. So, and I've given a talk on this, and it's actually on my website as well, PowerPoint, where I actually talk about how Darwinism is racist. It is racist. At its core, it is racist.